It's Thursday, July 18. In the headlines, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announces roving generators for communities still without water. Unemployment rate at 5.4%. In business news, Jamaica Social Stock Exchange supports hurricane relief efforts. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago reports more dengue cases. And in sports, Reggae Boys drops 8 places in FIFA ranking. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The National Water Commission, NWC, has been instructed to rent every available and appropriate generator to give support to communities where water has not yet been restored. Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave the instruction with the aim of providing potable water to communities without electricity in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. Speaking in Parliament this week, he said some generators have already been rented and will be deployed.
It is for this reason that I have instructed the NWC to rent every available and appropriate generator to give support to these communities. We will be mounting these generators on flatbed trucks so that they can move between communities to allow for temporary reprieve while storage tanks, both households and communities, are refilled. We are targeting approximately 50 of these mobile generators to work in parallel with the JPS effort.
The National Water Commission, NWC, tops the list of utility companies with the most complaints for the first quarter of 2024. The Office of Utilities Regulations Quarterly Performance Report for 2024, January to March, indicates that its Consumer Affairs Unit received 736 contacts. Of this number, 285 pertained to NWC matters. 262 related to Jamaica Public Service issues. 88 were for Columbus Communications Jamaica Limited, Flow, and 47 for Cable and Wireless Jamaica Limited, also referred to as Flow. The remaining contacts were split between Digicel at 3%, private water and sewage service providers, private telecommunications service providers, and other utility providers at 4%. During the review period, billing matters at 54% remained the main reason utility consumers contacted the CAU, representing a 10% point increase compared to the preceding period. Contacts relating to NWC and JPS at 217, that's 29%, and 142, that's 19% respectively, accounted for the highest number of billing-related matters. During the quarter, just under $53.4 million was paid out to affected utility consumers for service breaches. Data collected by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, under Jamaica's revised labor force survey has revealed the country's unemployment rate now stands at 5.4% as of January 2024. Danita Rodney tells us more.
While presenting the profile of the unemployed labor force at Statin's media launch of the revised labor force survey, which enables the collection of more granular and detailed data, Deputy Director General Lisha Delati-Bodir revealed that the country's unemployment rate is just above 5%.
In January 2024, the unemployment rate, which we now refer to as LU1, which is the first indicator of labor underutilization, stood at 5.4%, equating to 80,700 persons who were without employment but were available and seeking work. The unemployment rate for males was 4% and for females 7.1%.
She said when examined by age group, the highest unemployment rate was for youth.
When examined by age group, the unemployment rate was highest for youth at 16.0% and lowest for persons 55 years or older at 1.7%. For those of prime working age, the unemployment rate was 4.4%.
The Deputy Director General added that households with children under 18 had the highest unemployment rate.
Households with children aged 18, persons living in households with children aged 18 years or younger had a higher unemployment rate compared to those without. So if you lived in a household with a child, we saw where the unemployment rate for those persons was higher, and it was 6.6%. This rate was higher also for households with minor children, that's children less than 6 years or younger. And the unemployment rate among persons living in households with children 6 years or younger was 7.1%. The presence of children in the household, however, had a less significant impact on male unemployment rates than it did for female unemployment rates.
Comparing regional data, she noted that the unemployment rate was highest in rural areas than in urban centers.
From a regional perspective, the unemployment rate was highest in other urban centers at 9.1%, followed by rural areas at 8.1%, and lowest in the Greater Kingston metropolitan area at 5.0%. Looking at the number of unemployed persons, there were approximately 20,200 unemployed persons in other urban centers, 21,900 unemployed persons in the Greater Kingston metropolitan area, and 38,600 unemployed persons in rural areas.
Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denida Rodney.
The Dembe Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show has been shortened to 1 day. The show was originally slated for August 1 to 3 in Clarendon. However, following the passage of Hurricane Beryl, which left $4.7 billion in damage to the sector, Portfolio Minister Floyd Green announced the changes.
And what we want to do this year is to have a one-day show that will focus on our farmers. We'll focus on resilience and rebuilding. We'll do a combination of things like seminars about disaster preparedness, about disaster recovery, and also offer various discounts, incentives that our farmers can benefit from. We will also establish a window where those farmers who have not yet received assistance, who've been damaged, will be able to come, give that information so that we can channel some support to them.
He was speaking at this week's post-cabinet press brief. Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. The number of firms expecting economic conditions to get better declined from 42% in the first quarter of 2024 to 39% in the last 3 months. In the latest Business Confidence Survey, firms are of the opinion that things will get better because of economic recovery, the resilience of Jamaicans, and government policies. However, the number of businesses expecting things to get worse remained unchanged at 19% when compared with the last quarter of 2024. Those firms that were of the view that things will worsen cited crime, high unemployment and low disposable income, high prices, the economy not recovering quickly, and unstable foreign exchange. With concerns from donors that hurricane relief funds will go where they should go, several organizations have turned to the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange for help in monitoring the funds received. Professor Neville Ying, chairman of the JSSE, explains why this is important for the integrity of the relief efforts.
In light of the ongoing hurricane relief efforts, Professor Ying, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Denise.
And what we want to find out is what's happening. How is the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange partnering in the hurricane relief?
Well, most recently, we have had an offer from the NCB Foundation. They want to focus on the recovery of the agriculture sector.
Yes.
And they thought we are the best person to go through.
Yes.
Or the best organization to go through.
And why is that?
Because we pride ourselves in two very important things: accountability and transparency.
And why is that important? Why is accountability important for charitable organizations and transparency?
Well, over the years, charitable organizations and donors are interested in making sure that their donations go to the intended beneficiaries.
Yes.
Which are usually vulnerable persons and vulnerable communities. And because of that, that's why they come to the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Because as you know, our parent company, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, has an international reputation.
Yes.
For corporate governance,
yes,
accountability, and transparency.
So now, this partnership with NCB Foundation, what is expected to happen?
They will go out and get particular donors, like the American Friends of Jamaica,
yes,
which is a big fundraiser in the US. And the funds that they are going to contribute, they will do it through the JSSC platform.
Okay. All right. And so if persons want to donate, they can also go on the JSSC website or the NCB Foundation website.
Precisely.
All right. Thank you, Professor Ying.
During trading for the period of July 17, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 18,705,465 units amounted to 56.54% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Lasco Distributors Limited with 2,718,781 units amounted to 8.22% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Online education platform Edufoca Limited with 1,749,226 units amounted to 5.29% of the market volume in terms of equity sales. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on July 17, 2024, registered a volume of 236,464 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at $1,356,056 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 32 cents. Grace Kennedy Limited was the volume leader with 166,221 shares, changing hands for a value of $646,599 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 69 cents, followed by Massey Holdings Limited with a volume of 41,119 shares being traded for 149,096 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 64 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the regional stock markets, we turn to the Forex market. On July 17, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $56.30 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $64.2 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollars for $157.33 and bought US dollars for $155.96. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.37, which represents a profit from Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of 62 cents from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $115.36 and bought for $114.74. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $2.10, selling it for $201.41 and buying it for $199.31. For the credit report tip of the day, we continue to look at how your credit score can help your plans to migrate. If you're using the summer as the time to either plan or actually migrate, the credit score is so key. And there's two more benefits we want to talk about. When you migrate with a strong credit score, first, you have improved employment opportunities. Some employers check your credit score as part of their hiring process. A good credit score can enhance your employability and open up better job opportunities. Second is negotiating power for contracts. When you move, whether it's a cell phone plan or a gym membership, a good credit score can give you better negotiating power and access to exclusive deals. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Health says there have been more reports of dengue. This in its latest public health update.
There have been 3 laboratory-confirmed dengue deaths and 303 laboratory-confirmed cases of dengue fever for the year to date. The Ministry of Health gave the latest statistics via a media release on Wednesday. The Ministry of Health is reminding the public that dengue fever may be spread by the bite of an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito, and notes that the best means of reducing the incidence of mosquito-borne diseases is through the elimination of the breeding sites of the Aedes species mosquito. Symptoms of dengue fever appear within 5 to 6 days of being bitten and can last for 1 to 2 weeks. Signs and symptoms of dengue fever include fever, headaches, pain behind the eyes, muscle and joint pains, skin rash, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The Health Ministry is advising anyone showing signs or symptoms of dengue fever to seek immediate medical treatment at their doctor or nearest health facility. The public is also urged to clean their surroundings, including drains, cover water containers such as barrels or drums, and use mosquito nets and insect repellent as means of personal protection. Karen Cozier-Phillip, TTT News.
Regional leaders continue to demonstrate solidarity with the government and the people of Grenada in the wake of the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl.
Grateful for the continued outpouring of regional solidarity and support, Prime Minister Honorable Dickon Mitchell welcomed the Premier of the Cayman Islands, Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, on Tuesday at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. The visit underscored the robust ties between Grenada and the Cayman Islands and the collaborative spirit prevalent within the Caribbean community. Premier O'Connor Connolly and her delegations arrived with a substantial shipment of relief supplies and a generous monetary donation contribution aimed at aiding Grenada's ongoing recovery efforts. The relief supplies include essential items such as food, water, and baby products. During a handover ceremony, Premier O'Connor Connolly said after seeing the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl, it was necessary to assist.
And we thought it was important to show that we're brothers and sisters and we have your back. As the Jamaican reggae song say, I'm in your corner. But because we've been through it and God has been so generous and gracious to us in Cayman that we rose again. And I took great note that one of your mantras that we will rise again. And that's present but yet futuristic. And we wanted to bring not just the government representative but two former premiers actually here. The current speakers are all there. We have opposition, independent opposition, Chris. So we covered all of the spectrum to ensure that you received it as we are given it with an open heart from one sister to another sister, from one brother to another brother.
The presentation ceremony at the Maurice Bishop International Airport was attended by key government officials, representatives from various sectors, and members of the media. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, who recently assumed the chairmanship of the Caribbean community, said the event highlighted the importance of regional cooperation and the role it plays in fostering resilience in the Caribbean.
Premier to personally express, first on a personal note, my gratitude and appreciation for the support before you got here, for the communication, for the conversations, for the goodwill and the gesture of yourself and the Caymanian people. I want to point out, and I'm very happy to see that both the Premier and the Leader of the Opposition are here. So this is not a political gimmick or grandstand, but a true expression of the total support and solidarity that we are receiving from the people of the Cayman Islands. And we really, really want to express our profound gratitude for this. The support from the region has perhaps been the biggest source of inspiration for us.
Government officials believe that the implementation of a bilateral aviation agreement signed last year between France and St. Kitts and Nevis could pave the way for increased tourism between the Federation and the islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique. More in this report.
Signed in May 2023, the aviation agreement came into force just weeks ago, allowing reciprocal touchdown rights between St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider French Caribbean islands, notably Martinique and Guadeloupe. It also provides for the opening of touchdown rights between the two nations for air carriers designated by both nations. The agreement integrates current international conditions and the transport requirements of the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority. With this agreement, existing and new airlines designated by the parties to the agreement have the right to develop commercial flights with the potential to open new tourism markets. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
In sports, we look to football as Jamaica's Reggae Boys dropped 8 places to 59th in the latest FIFA rankings after a poor performance in the 2024 Copa America, where they lost all their group matches. Head coach Hymir Hallgrimsson resigned post-tournament and is now coaching the Republic of Ireland. The Jamaica Football Federation is in advanced talks to hire a new head coach. Mexico also slipped 2 places to 17th after a poor showing, while the USA fell 5 places to 16th following early exits and the dismissal of head coach Greg Berhalter. Conversely, Canada climbed 8 places to 40th, finishing 4th in the Copa America under coach Jesse March. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. And remember, we are the People's Station.